In 2024, gaming isn't just like gaming for the sake of being able to play video games anymore. You see, nowadays, to give you extra incentive to pop a squat in front of that big ass monitor, many companies are using extra tactics. Or just buying a license to put in skins that have nothing to do with the game, you know, whichever comes first. But really think about it though, you know, there's hella companies out there that are trying to give you crazy bargains just to try out their games. Like, for example, you know, we already mentioned the rise of all these new game collabs. Every time you look over your shoulder, you know, Steam is having a new site-wide sale going on. Epic Games gives out at least one free title every week. PlayStation has inflated prices you can't escape, but I wouldn't be able to talk about gaming bargains if I didn't mention arguably the best in the business to convince you to get on their platform, being Microsoft. Now, of course, you know, when I talk about Microsoft, I'm specifically talking about the Xbox Game Pass, since it's one of the most widely used game subscriptions currently in a really big market of other subscriptions desperately trying to rack up your monthly bank withdrawals. And I personally think that it has the best library out of any video game subscription right now. Also the best price cheese for exclusives, because I'll be starving in a month and only pay the $10 subscription fee, so hold these jukes, Xbox. But you know, as good as this subscription is for the hardcore Xbox fan, I don't think I need to remind you that it's still a subscription at the end of the day. And you know, not only the price you pay over the course of a year likely make you rethink your finances, but Microsoft is constantly changing the subscription in not so good ways, like the pricing or, you know, the monthly removal of certain games. It's not always amazing. And unfortunately, earlier this week, this negative side of the Game Pass was brought to light once again for some fans of the service, as a pretty well used mechanic in the subscription ended up receiving a pretty big nerf. Now, it is common sense to know that the Xbox Game Pass falls under Microsoft's entire conglomerate, damn near monopoly level business scheme. So, you know, with that, some features on different Microsoft services might get mixed in with other services just for the sake of it. But, you know, the one that we're concerned with right now is the current Microsoft Rewards program that runs across various Microsoft applications. You see, this rewards program allows you to earn points to redeem real-world prizes like gift cards or currency to buy games, which all the points are earned by doing things you normally do on your Microsoft devices. Like, you can get points for just using the Bing search engine, since nobody else on the planet would use the site otherwise. And of course, you're able to get points for completing certain quests in games on the Xbox Game Pass, something that players have been doing and farming for years now. Now, of course, you know, it takes time to rack up these points for something worthwhile, but you know, I'd say it's worth it if you play these games over time anyways. However, where the issue came is the fact that Microsoft just found a way to piss players off over that now, because while the main prize of Microsoft points saw an overall increase, the requirements, or quests as they call them, to get those points got significantly more harder, making the goal unattainable for a lot more players. For example, the monthly prize that most players are going after to receive a lucrative 1,000 Microsoft points, you now have to complete 45 daily quests on various games and 8 of the weekly quests in order to achieve the new prize of 1,000 Microsoft points, which, you know, like I mentioned, goes towards the reward program. Both of which only unlock 2 at a time, so once you do like 2 daily quests for one day, you can't do anymore until the next day. Same thing for the weekly, instead it refreshes the next week. And if me describing it like that sounds like it's kind of time consuming, well, that's because it really fucking is. You would literally have to grind the quest almost every day of the month just to reach that new threshold, which previously was 22 daily quests and 12 of the weekly ones. And a lot of these quests aren't just like throwaway ones, like the majority of them require you to get actual in-game achievements, which might not be much for the average achievement hunter out there, but personally the thought of grinding achievements just makes me want to blow my brains out. And this same change was done to a similar quest that now gives you 500 points for a certain number of daily and weekly quests completed, except it now needs you to do 22 of the daily and 6 of the weekly to be obtained. So a good buff in points to earn, but you know, more stuff to do. Now, of course, you know, this change isn't really affecting everybody using the Game Pass, since, you know, the majority of people probably didn't even know that this feature even existed. But for the ones that do and actually try to make some good use out of the monthly price they were paying, you can imagine that the response to all these changes haven't been the best. And I mean, as annoying as it is, like players have always been doing, you can still cheese the achievements they require by playing easy achievement games like Killer Instinct, but even then, there's talks of Microsoft outright removing their daily and weekly programs, so at least we got those movie skins. So that's the current situation on the Xbox Game Pass. Hopefully over time the Game Pass gets only better from this point forward, because I still do think it's a pretty good bargain for what you get with the pass. But of course, we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds for the Xbox Game Pass. So what do you guys think about the Game Pass setting this new change, man? Feel free to comment down below. As always, if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.